Hi, I already know this video is gonna get a few thumbs down because contrary what you see on YouTube, I will talk about StrongBlock and not just praise the project. When you search for StrongBlock in YouTube, you mainly find videos about generating massive passive income, how this is the next big project that's gonna make a lot of money. But most of those videos, they oversee actually how this whole system here works. How StrongBlock is currently able to pay out that much money to its investors. Now the Strong token is going strong, right? Just look at this. In the last 3 months, it went from $200, it's 6x'd, now it's at 1,200. So there's definitely demand. And I do think a lot of that demand is caused by the social media hype, by people that are already in the system, that run nodes, that bought the required 10 Strong tokens in order to set up a node. It's a lot of that hype that is driving further adoption. But I think if you get involved into this, if you plan on putting down 12k US dollars to buy such a node for the StrongBlock community, you should at least be aware of how the whole system works. And so this is what you're getting yourself into. When you run a StrongBlock node, you get 0.1 Strong token each day. That's your reward for running the node. In order to get that node, you have to pay 10 Strong token upfront. So you're paying that money into the project. You're not able to get that money out. It's a one-time expense. And then you wait for a little while. And after 100 days, roughly, you will have your 10 Strong token back. And with the currently rising price of Strong, the time period to get your money back in terms of fiat is even shorter than that. So on paper, this looks really, really good, right? More than 100% ROI, more than 100% return every 3 months. Now it sounds so good that it's maybe too good to be true. Maybe. So here's where those 0.1 Strong token come from. When you create a node, when you pay those 10 Strong tokens, 60% of those tokens, so 6 tokens, they go into a community pool. So we've got a pool over here, and your 10 Strong tokens go in there. And what then happens is that out of that community pool, this 0.1 Strong token is paid out to all the investors that are in the project. So the money that comes in is from new investors. The money that goes out is to existing investors. That's the current mechanics of the system. So in order for money to be paid out on your Strong node, new people have to get into the system. Without people filling up this community pool, there's nothing to distribute to the people. There's currently no other revenue stream, at least to my knowledge. And so this is in the end what it looks like, right? You have one investor, onboards 2 more investors that pay to this one investor, that onboards a few new investors that again pay to the ones that are existing, and so on and so forth. That's basically how the system currently works. Now, how is it then possible that the project gets so much adoption? There's not only red flags here, right? The people that run this whole operation, they are pretty credible. They've got very reputable backgrounds. The way they present themselves in interviews is very articulate. So it does look pretty legitimate. And even the way the system works is pretty open, right? You can see this here during the sign-up process. In the StrongBlock white paper, which they call flash paper, you can even see this community reserve address. So when you look at the balance, this is how it looks like. So even though StrongBlock gets all this adoption now, all this hype, it does look like this community pool is depleting somewhat, but not massively, right? This is now a time frame of a little bit under a year, and we went down by, say, 15 to 20%. And one thing that also differentiates the project from others is that there are ways to keep the system alive for quite a while. For example, StrongBlock had a halvening, so the reward that gets paid out to existing holders, it had been cut in half. And it's very likely that once the growth slows down, that there will be again halvenings. And so you can somewhat manage when the inflow of new money slows down, you can also slow down the payout simply by creating another halvening or 2. And so that's kind of like the dilemma here. You've got a system that's set up that's clearly benefiting the existing investors on expense of new investors coming in. You clearly have got a lot of momentum. The risk you take on also seems to be manageable. The community pool seems somewhat healthy. the stability of the system can somewhat be managed. And so when you buy into this, I would not be surprised at all if you get out of this with a profit. Because all it takes for this to be profitable is for the system to survive maybe another 2 or 3 months. After that, you've got your initial payment back, and everything that comes afterwards will be money directly from new people coming in. It will be direct profit to you. And the likelihood for this to happen is high. We are still only at market rank 329. Other similar projects that were maybe a little bit less elaborate, that were way more obvious to spot, those projects, they got into the top 10 of all of crypto. So I would not be surprised to see Strong at least get into the top 100, maybe even higher. So getting onto this train right now is very likely to make you money. But you need to be aware of the risk. At some point, this could very much turn around. And maybe some way to time this is to look at the community reserves. I personally am not invested in this simply due to moral reasons. I don't think this is the way crypto should be. I do think these projects, they might potentially put a bad light on the cryptocurrency sector as a whole. But if you've got 12K laying around that you're willing to potentially completely lose, then it wouldn't surprise me at all if you make money from this. Because in this moment in time, we are probably rather around here than around here where you might get slaughtered at some point. You might, right? Nobody knows for sure. But simply the mechanics of how the whole cash flow is working within the system, I think that's a massive red flag. These systems, they do stay alive for quite a while. They do make money for quite a lot of people. But make sure not to put all your life savings on this. Make sure to cash out from time to time if you are invested. Don't just reinvest the Strong tokens you get into new nodes, into infinity, because there is definitely the risk, in my humble opinion, that at some point the Strong token will not be that strong anymore. Feel free to give this a thumbs down in case you disagree. I'm okay with that. If you like a critical voice though, and you don't just want to see moon stories on YouTube, then of course a thumbs up would be appreciated as well. Feel free to subscribe as well. I publish videos regularly. And last but not least, feel free to join our Telegram channel. We are now 900 people. You can find us simply by clicking the link in the video description or by searching for Bitcoin Strategy Channel within the Telegram app. See you next time. Bye bye.